Gemma 4 dropped on April 2nd with an AIME math score that crushed every open model in history. 3 weeks later, Qwen 3.6 launched and topped every coding benchmark that matters. 2 open weight releases in 1 month. You probably can't run both. This is a real comparison. Architecture, benchmarks, coding, deployment, and the actual use cases where each model wins. On the left, Google's Gemma 4, released April 2nd, 2026. Open weight, Apache 2.0, 4 sizes from 2 billion to 31 billion dense parameters. On the right, Alibaba's Qwen 3.6 Plus, released March 31st, API only, 35 billion total parameters, but only 3 billion active at inference. Qwen's mixture of experts trick means it reasons with 35 billion parameters, but costs like a 3 billion model at inference time. Gemma 4 runs dense. Every parameter fires every time. Less efficient on paper, completely predictable in practice. Same weight class on paper, completely different architectures underneath. That difference matters a lot once you get to real workloads. Let's look at the numbers. 89.2%. That's Gemma 4's AIME 2026 math score according to Google DeepMind's model card. Gemma 3 hit 20.8 on the same test. That's not an improvement, that's a different model. Across the board, Gemma 4 scores around 89% on AIME 2026 versus Qwen 3.5's 48. On Live Codebench v6, Gemma 4 hits 80%. GPQA Diamond 84.3, higher than Llama 4 Scout 74. On math and reasoning benchmarks, Gemma 4 leads by a margin that's hard to argue with. Google also reports a Codeforces ELO of 2150 for Gemma 4. For context, that's an expert-level competitive programmer. Not like, oh, it's decent at algorithm problems, like legitimately terrifying to compete against. Math, reasoning, and algorithmic code, Gemma 4 wins by a margin that's hard to dispute. But here's where the coding story gets more complicated. Coding and agentic workflows, where Qwen 3.6 pushes back. Qwen 3.6 Max Preview, the version Alibaba released April 20th, ranks first on SWE-bench Pro. SWE-bench measures whether a model can fix real GitHub issues on real code bases. It's the closest thing to a field test we have, and Qwen tops it. On practical coding benchmarks, Human Eval, SWE-bench Verified, MBPP, Qwen 3.6 beats Gemma 4. These measure fix real bugs, write working functions, pass real test suites. On Codeforces ELO and Live Codebench v6, Gemma 4 leads. That's algorithmic competition code. Clean room, no tooling, pure logic. SWE-bench Verified runs a model through the full cycle. Real open source GitHub issue, real repo with actual tests, model attempts a fix, CI runs, pass or fail. No toy problems, no synthetic shortcuts. That's why it correlates with, will this thing actually help me on my codebase? But there's a catch with Qwen 3.6. According to MindStudio's comparison, tool calling reliability degrades on workflows with 8 or more sequential tool calls. For simple agents, fine. For deep automation pipelines with 10+ chained operations, test it before you ship it. Real-world coding and agentic task rankings, Qwen 3.6 leads. Algorithmic code and reasoning, Gemma 4. The caveat is Qwen's reliability ceiling on complex toolchains. Context, speed, and where this actually runs. Gemma 4 gives you 128,000 tokens, enough for most single-session tasks. Qwen 3.6 Plus gives you 1 million tokens. That's around 8 times longer. For processing full code bases or long document pipelines, that gap is not subtle. On an NVIDIA 4090, Gemma 4 sparse hits over 10,000 tokens per second on prompt processing. Qwen 3.6 reaches around 8,000, both fast. The output token gap matters more for code generation. Gemma 4's 131,000 ceiling is about double Qwen's 65,000. Here's the one that decides things for a lot of teams. Gemma 4 is Apache 2.0. Download it, run it locally, your data never leaves your infrastructure. Qwen 3.6 Plus is API only. Every prompt routes through Alibaba Cloud. For regulated industries like healthcare, finance, or government, that's a non-starter. Long context ingestion and real-world coding benchmarks? Qwen 3.6. Speed, output tokens, and sovereignty over your own data? Gemma 4. Pick based on where your data is allowed to go. So, which model should you actually pick? 4 use cases, 4 clear answers. Math, reasoning, agentic planning, Gemma 4. Real-world code generation on existing code bases, Qwen 3.6. Data privacy, local deployment, regulated industry, Gemma 4, full stop. 1 million token context window, Qwen 3.6. There is nothing else at that scale. That's the split. To recap, Gemma 4 dominates math, reasoning, speed, and local deployment. Apache 2.0 runs on your hardware. Qwen 3.6 leads real-world coding benchmarks and long context ingestion. API only, but a million tokens is a million tokens. Neither is universally better. Drop your pick in the comments. I'll check the ratio. Next one goes deeper on running these models locally. Quantization, hardware requirements, and which setups actually hold up under real workloads. Subscribe and it'll be waiting. Both model pages are linked in the description.